The stars looked different from Earth's orbit. Amelia Winters noticed this as she stood in the observation deck of the International Space Station, waiting for the arrival of the refugee ship. At 32, she had never expected to become Earth's voice to the stars. But her diplomatic skills had earned her this position and this impossible task. "They're entering our solar system now," said Kyle, her assistant, checking his tablet.
"Oh."
"The Galactic Council is demanding updates every hour." Amelia nodded, her reflection serious in the reinforced glass. 6 months ago, Earth had finally been granted provisional membership in the Galactic Council after decades of petitioning. Humans were newcomers to interstellar politics, still proving their worth among species that had traveled between stars for millennia. "How many refugees?" she asked, though she already knew the answer. 10,000. All humans from the outer colonies. The hegemony stripped them of citizenship after the rebellion. The rebellion. Amelia had read the reports. Human colonies in the Orion Arm had demanded independence from the galactic hegemony. The war lasted 3 days. These displaced humans drifted between stars, unwanted by any world, including their ancestral home. "Director Pierce was clear about our position," Kyle reminded her. "Earth cannot accept them without risking our standing with the Council." The refugee ship appeared first as a distant light, then grew larger, a massive vessel, cobbled together from salvaged parts. It wasn't beautiful like the sleek ships of the Galactic Council, but it had character. It had survived. When the diplomatic shuttle docked with the station, Amelia straightened her uniform and prepared to deliver Earth's official rejection. The airlock cycled open, and a tall man with tired eyes stepped through. "Elijah Donovan," he said, extending his hand in the Earth's custom, though Amelia knew he had never set foot on the planet, representative of the free colonies. His handshake was firm, his eyes direct. Something about him seemed familiar, though they had never met. "Amelia Winters, Earth Diplomatic Corps." She gestured toward the conference room. "We have much to discuss." Over the next hours, Elijah described the plight of his people. Born on ships and distant moons, they were humans who knew Earth only from stories. After the failed rebellion, they had been stripped of everything: homes, rights, identities. "We're not asking for charity," Elijah said, his voice steady despite the desperation of his situation. "We have engineers, doctors, scientists. We can contribute." "The Council has classified your people as political dissidents," Amelia replied, hating the words even as she spoke them. "Accepting you would jeopardize Earth's position." Elijah looked at her with an intensity that made her pause. "We're human, just like you," he said quietly. "Does that count for nothing?" Later, alone in the observation deck, Amelia watched the refugee ship hanging against the backdrop of stars. She was surprised when Elijah joined her. "Beautiful view," he said, standing beside her. "You should see it from the surface," she replied. "I'd like that someday." His smile was sad. "My great-grandparents left Earth seeking freedom among the stars. Now no world will have us." Their eyes met in the reflection of the glass. And Amelia felt something shift inside her, a connection she couldn't explain, but couldn't deny. Amelia found reasons to extend the diplomatic talks. Each day she filed reports claiming progress, while actually searching for solutions the Council might accept. Each night she met Elijah in the observation deck, their conversations stretching longer as the stars wheeled overhead. "Tell me about your home," she said one evening, a week into negotiations. "Which one?" Elijah smiled. "I was born on a ship called the Horizon. My first steps were in artificial gravity. My first real sky was on Proxima Colony when I was 7. What was it like?" Red. "The sun there made everything look like sunset all day long." His eyes grew distant. "It was beautiful until the hegemony decided humans had no right to an independent government." Amelia moved closer. "What happened? They gave us a choice. Submit or leave." Most left. "Those who stayed, ... double quotes." He didn't finish the sentence. Their hands rested inches apart on the railing. Neither moved to close the distance, but both were acutely aware of the space between them. "Why does Earth follow their rules?" Elijah asked. "You have your own military, your own culture. Why bow to the Council?" "Protection," Amelia admitted. "There are species out there that could destroy us without effort. The Council keeps them in check at what cost?" She had no answer. The next day, Director Pierce arrived from Earth, tall and imposing in his formal uniform. He summoned Amelia to his temporary office. The council is growing impatient, he said without greeting. End these talks. The refugees must move on. Sir, if we could just... That's an order, Winters. Earth cannot afford to challenge the hegemony. Later, she found Elijah in the station's small gardener room filled with plants from Earth. He was touching a maple leaf with wonder. I've only seen these in pictures, he said. Elijah, I need to tell you something. Her voice was tight. Director Pierce is ending negotiations. You'll be ordered to leave our system tomorrow. His face fell, but he nodded. I expected this. Thank you for trying. I'm sorry. Don't be. You're the first person from Earth who treated us like humans instead of problems. That night, Amelia couldn't sleep. She paced her quarters, thinking of 10,000 people with nowhere to go, thinking of Elijah. At 3 a.m., her tablet chimed with an emergency alert. The hegemony enforcement fleet had arrived. 3 massive warships demanding the immediate surrender of the refugee vessel. Amelia dressed quickly and ran to the command center. Director Pierce was already there, arguing with the hegemony commander on screen. This is Earth space, Pierce was saying. You have no jurisdiction here. These rebels are sentenced to labor rehabilitation, the alien commander replied. Stand aside or face sanctions. When the transmission ended, Pierce noticed Amelia. This is bad. Council never mentioned enforcement action. What will happen to them, she asked. Labor colonies. Hegemony calls it rehabilitation. His expression was grim. It's essentially slavery. Amelia made her decision in that moment. She slipped away from the command center and sent Elijah an urgent message. Hegemony ships here, planning to take your people. Meet me at docking bay 4. When he arrived, his face was drawn with worry. Without thinking, she reached for him. Their first kiss was desperate, a promise made without words. I'll help you, she whispered against his lips, whatever it takes. Alarms blared throughout the station as Amelia led Elijah through service corridors toward the emergency shuttles. Her security clearance opened doors that should have remained locked, each decision taking her further from the life she had known. The hegemony will board your ship within the hour, she explained, breathing hard as they ran. We need to warn your people. They reached the shuttle bay just as security forces entered the main corridor. Amelia quickly programmed the smallest craft for launch. You're coming with me? Elijah asked, surprise in his voice. I can't go back now. Her hands moved steadily over the controls despite her racing heart. I violated at least 6 diplomatic protocols. The shuttle launched with a jolt, breaking free from the station. Through the viewport, they watched Earth grow smaller, a blue jewel against the darkness. It's beautiful, Elijah whispered. Just like the stories. The refugee ship loomed ahead, massive and patchwork. As they approached, hegemony warships appeared on the scanner, moving into position to surround the vessel. We won't make it, Amelia said, pushing the shuttle's engines beyond safety limits. Elijah reached for her hand. When their fingers touched, something strange happened. A warmth spread up Amelia's arm, across her chest, into her mind. Suddenly, she could feel Elijah's fear, his determination, his hope as clearly as her own emotions. Their eyes met in shock. Did you feel that? He asked. She nodded, unable to speak. The connection remained, a bridge between their minds. The shuttle docked with the refugee ship moments before the hegemony forces arrived. Chaos greeted them, people running, alarms sounding, children crying. Elijah led Amelia to the bridge, where his fellow leaders were preparing for the worst. The hegemony is demanding our surrender, said a gray-haired woman named Lily. They're threatening to fire if we resist. We can't outrun them, added a man called Ben. Our engines are failing. Elijah introduced Amelia. She risked everything to warn us. As they spoke, hegemony soldiers boarded the ship. Security feeds showed them moving through the corridors, separating families, tagging people like cattle. We need to split up, Elijah said. Amelia, go with Lily to the lower decks. Help get the children to the escape pods. No, Amelia protested. I should stay with you, please. They'll be looking for me, not you. Their hands separated, but the connection remained. As Amelia moved through the ship with Lily, she could feel Elijah's presence in her mind, his determination, his fear when hegemony soldiers surrounded him. They've taken him, she gasped, stopping mid-stride. Taken who? Lily asked. Elijah. I can feel it. Amelia pressed her hand to her chest. They're hurting him. Lily stared at her. That's impossible. Unless... double. Quotes, her eyes widened. It's just a legend. What are you talking about? An unbreakable connection between two people. The oldest stories mention it, but no human has experienced it for generations. Amelia closed her eyes, focusing on the connection. She could see through Elijah's sterile room, hegemony scientists discussing him like a specimen.
Ow.
They had discovered the connection too. They're taking him to a research facility, she said, opening her eyes. And they're coming for me next. As if summoned by her words. Hegemony soldiers appeared at the end of the corridor, weapons raised. The Hegemony Research Facility orbited a dead moon in a system with no name, just a number in the galactic catalog. Amelia spent her days in a white room, connected to machines that measured her brainwaves, her heart rate, her neural patterns. Scientists with translucent skin and large eyes observed her through glass walls. They had separated her from Elijah physically, but they couldn't break the soul string. If anything, their connection grew stronger with distance. At night, when the scientist left her alone, she closed her eyes and found him. Are you okay? She asked through their bond. They haven't hurt me, his thoughts came back. They're too fascinated by what we can do. Through his eyes, she saw his own white room, his own observers. Through his memories, she learned what the scientists discussed when they thought he couldn't understand their language. They're afraid of us, Elijah told her. No, humans have formed a soul string in recorded history. They think we might be evolving. 3 weeks into their captivity, something changed. The scientists became agitated, speaking rapidly in their clicking language. Amelia caught glimpses of view screens showing Earth ships, dozens of them, moving in formation toward the research facility. Earth is coming for us, she sent to Elijah, hope rising in her chest. Not just Earth, he replied, sharing what he saw through the facility windows. The refugee fleet had regrouped, joining forces with Earth's ships. The head scientist entered Amelia's room, his translucent skin flushed blue with emotion. Your people demand your release, he said in halting English. They threaten war. Earth would never risk war with the hegemony, Amelia replied, though her heart raced with hope. See for yourself. He activated a screen showing President Samantha Reeves addressing the Galactic Council. Earth withdraws from Council protection, the president was saying. We will not abandon our own people to persecution. Release the detainees and recognize the human right to self-determination, or face the consequences. The scientist turned to Amelia. How did they find this facility? It is not on any chart. She smiled, understanding now. The soul string. Elijah and I have been mapping your facility, sharing coordinates. Our people followed our connection. Alarms blared throughout the station. Through Elijah's eyes, Amelia saw Earth forces boarding the facility, led by Commander Gabriel Martinez in combat armor. They're coming for us, she told the scientist. Should order your people not to resist. The rescue happened quickly. Martinez's team breached her section first, 6 soldiers in Earth Defense Force uniforms securing the room. Ms. Winters, Martinez nodded respectfully. The president sends her regards. Elijah Donovan, she said. Section C, Level 4. We need to get him now. Martinez touched his cum unit. Team 2, redirect to Section C, Level 4. No need, Amelia said, feeling Elijah's joy surge through their connection. He's already free. His people reached him. When they finally reunited on the command deck of Earth's flagship, their embrace sent a pulse of energy through the ship's systems. Lights flickered, computers reset, and every person on the bridge felt a wave of emotion that wasn't their own. President Reeves, watching via secure transmission, addressed them both. What you two represent changes everything, she said. The hegemony has agreed to negotiations, but more importantly, the refugee fleet will be granted sanctuary in our system while we establish permanent settlements. Elijah looked at Amelia, his eyes bright with unshed tears. Earth stood up for us. Not just Earth, she corrected, taking his hand. Humanity stood up for itself. Through their connection, they shared a single thought. This was just the beginning. 1 year later, Amelia stood on the surface of a terraformed moon, watching workers construct the first permanent buildings of New Haven Colony. The gas giant this moon orbited filled half the sky, its swirling clouds of purple and gold creating a backdrop that still took her breath away. "The hydroponics dome will be finished by next week," Elijah said, joining her on the ridge. "The first crops are already growing," she smiled, feeling his pride through their connection. In the months since Earth's stand against the hegemony, much had changed. The Galactic Council, faced with humanity's unexpected unity and the phenomenon of the soul string, had been forced to reconsider their position. "The council representatives are arriving tomorrow," Amelia reminded him. "Are we ready?" "As ready as we'll ever be." He took her hand, their connection humming between them like a current. "They're still nervous about what we represent." They had good reason to be. Since Amelia and Elijah's bond had become public knowledge, 17 more human pairs had discovered their own soul strings. Scientists from a dozen species now studied the phenomenon, trying to understand how humans had developed an ability previously thought mythical. The settlement below bustled with activity. 10,000 refugees had become pioneers, building a new society on this distant moon. Earth had provided technology and supplies, but the vision was entirely their own, a place where humans from Earth and the stars could live together as equals. "President Reeves sent a message," Amelia said. "The treaty is ready for final approval. The abandoned territories beyond the Orion Arm will officially become the Human Federation, an entire sector of space." Elijah marveled. "Room for all our people to grow." They walked down the path toward the settlement, greeting workers and children as they passed. Everyone knew them, the pair whose connection had changed humanity's place in the galaxy. Dr. Olivia Bennett waved from the entrance to her research facility. Earth's foremost xenobiologist had relocated to New Haven to study the soul string phenomenon. "Just the couple I wanted to see," she called. "I've made a breakthrough in understanding how your connection works." Inside her lab, holographic displays showed neural patterns, Amelia's and Elijah's, side by side. "It's quantum entanglement at the cellular level," Olivia explained. "Your nervous systems are literally connected across space-time. The more you use the connection, the stronger it becomes." "Could it be taught?" Amelia asked. "Could other humans learn to form these bonds?" "I believe so. With the right training, the right compatibility." Olivia's eyes shone with excitement. "This could change everything we know about human potential." That evening, Amelia and Elijah sat on the porch of their small home, watching the lights of the settlement twinkle on as darkness fell. Above them, ships from Earth arrived regularly, bringing new settlers eager to join this experiment in human unity. "Did you ever imagine this?" Elijah asked, his arm around her shoulders. "When you were assigned to reject our request for asylum?" "Never," she admitted. "I was just doing my job, and now..." She turned to face him, their connection flowing between them like a river of light only they could see. "Now I'm helping write a new chapter of human history." She smiled. "With you." In the distance, a ship descended toward the landing field, the Galactic Council representatives arriving early. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new negotiations. The galaxy was still adjusting to humanity's unexpected evolution and newfound unity. But tonight, in this moment, Amelia and Elijah simply watched the stars come out over their new home, a world that existed because Earth had finally stood up against the galaxy, not just for itself, but for all its children among the stars.